We're here today with Andrew Penkethman, CEO of Ardea Resources. Andrew, thanks for your time.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Reasonably new to the job, what attracted you to the company?
It's the diversity of projects that Ardea have, led by the flagship Goongarrie Nickel Cobalt project, which is part of the larger Kalgoorlie Nickel project, which is the largest nickel cobalt resource in Australia and one of the largest in the world. So it's very strategic and potential for multi-decades of production, and I think that appeals to end users such as the battery revolution. You know, they need nickel and cobalt to go into the electric vehicle batteries and similarly static storage batteries. And then on top of that, they've got 3,500 square kilometres of tenure in the heart of the West Australian goldfields around Kalgoorlie. And there's no doubt that grounds prospective for orogenic gold, nickel sulphides and other base metals. And then in New South Wales and the Lachlan Fold Belt around the regional city of Orange, there's a large tenement base of approximately 2,000 square kilometres, prospective for porphyry copper gold, epithermal gold and large-scale VMS deposits. So as a geologist, you know, I'm really attracted to that quality portfolio of projects. And then the board and management team, they've got the runs on the board.
Mid last year, the company came out with studies on its nickel project, but decided not to proceed into a DFS. What was some of the reasoning behind that? And what is the strategy of the company now?
The pre-feasibility study results defined a compelling development option. And then that was followed quickly by an expansion case at a scale of 2.25 million tonnes per annum. So as the ability to produce strategic quantities of nickel and cobalt sulphate, and importantly that work with the pilot plant produced battery requirement nickel and cobalt sulphate, so it meets all the end user specifications. And the partnership process has been going on with KPMG, looking for a strategic partner to help fund development of the Goongarrie project. And the board made the prudent decision to continue engaging with potential strategic partners with the objective of selecting a preferred partner, and then jointly we would agree on project scale, how many million tonnes per annum, and the end product specification. For example, would they want a mixed sulphide product or nickel and cobalt sulphate or something else? So we are continuing with some definitive feasibility study work programs, but until we've got the strategic partner locked in and we can agree on the final scope of work, we won't fully commit, because we don't want to waste shareholders' funds on studies that may become redundant. We may do it on, let's say, 2 million tonne per annum operation, and then the strategic partner goes, no, that's not going to meet my requirements, it's got to be 4 million tonnes per annum. So it's definitely the right decision, and the work will continue where it can, and as soon as we select the preferred strategic partner, we can move on in earnest.
In terms of strategic partners, obviously one hasn't been selected, but how advanced are the discussions, and how do you have a discussion with a strategic around the output of product?
Look, with this sort of process, you've got a virtual data room, there's meetings as required, there's exhaustive due diligence. I've been through similar processes before. They do take time. You're looking at very large investment decisions. There's a lot of considerations, so I can't give a time frame on how long that'll take, but I can say that discussions are active. There is genuine interest, and we could have sold the offtake 10 times over or more, but that's not the sole objective. We want to partner with a large organisation. We want to build this project together, and then they can go on and guarantee supply for decades. And there are so few projects in the world like that, with that large strategic resource base. And a lot of these strategic partners, or these very large global organisations, they want supply over a time frame of decades, not short term, 1, 2, 3, 5 years, etc.
So while that is simmering in the background, what is the strategy for the remaining assets?
We're cognizant of the fact that we've got a highly prospective tenement position in the heart of the West Australian goldfields. The Australian gold price is fantastic. We're looking at around $800 an ounce. A number of the mid-tier gold companies in Australia are highly profitable, so if Ardea can make a new gold discovery, there's multiple opportunities to try and monetise that. It could be toll treatment, it could be an outright sale, all depends on the scale of the discovery, but I'm very confident with the tenure position we have and a lot of the large regional scale gold-bearing structures that go through Ardea's ground that potential's real, and we've just got to do the work to help realise it.
And in terms of New South Wales, the plans for that asset?
So we've got approximately 2,000 square kilometres of tenements in and around the regional city of Orange. It's in the Lachlan Fold Belt. Some of Australia's largest bulk tonnage operations are in that area, such as Ardea Ridgeway porphyry operation at Newcrest. There's epithermal gold and silver deposits. There's a number of large-scale VMS deposits, particularly in the Cobar area that are well known, and the large tenement base that Ardea's been able to acquire is prospective for all three styles of mineralisation. I've spent time on the ground assessing those projects, working with our local team, and I'm really impressed. Now they range from early stage geochemical work that demonstrate the potential for porphyry copper gold signature, because we run a comprehensive 51 element suite when we do all our sampling, and that gives us a fantastic data set to work upon. We've got legacy mining areas such as Mount Aubrey, where BHP completed 2 open pits to a depth of 40 metres. Back in 1991, the gold price was $350 US an ounce. It's currently closer to $1,300 US an ounce. And we've seen multiple companies in Australia in particular, but also around the world, exploring around old mining operations and continuing to extend the mineralisation down dip, down plunge, along strike, etc. And that potential at Mount Aubrey is compelling. I can't wait for us to get the drill rigs onto that target, and that's likely to be one of the first priorities following the spin out and IPO of the New South Wales projects.
You just touched on the spin out of the New South Wales assets. What's involved there and what does it mean for your shareholders?
We're working on a timetable of completing the prospectus in the second half of 2019 and then moving forward with an IPO shortly thereafter. The plan is for an in-specie share distribution to existing Ardea shareholders. So what that means is the Ardea shareholders will be gifted shares in the new company, and then the new company will also raise funds on the ASX as part of the IPO. And we really think that's the right choice to make for Ardea shareholders. They get to continue to share in any project upside, exploration success, project development, etc. But we also put in place a dedicated management team and ensure there's strong funding to make the most of those projects.
New to Ardea, but not new to the listed world. Excited for the future, clearly. Andrew, thanks for your time.
Pleasure, thanks for having me.